The UFC heavyweight division is an absolute mess right now. And when you kind of take a look at all the numbers per se, you kind of see why. So let's take a look first at the top 15 in the heavyweight division. I'm going to throw it up on the screen for you. We got Tom Aspinall. He's the interim heavyweight champion. We got Cyril Gane at number 2. We got Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov, and then Stipe still ranked number 6. Let's take a little look at Stipe and John Jones. All right. The fight at first made sense. Before John tore his bicep, it made a lot of sense. John Jones, one of the greatest of all time, probably the greatest of all time. For me, it's a toss-up between him and Demetrius Johnson. And then Stipe, the most accomplished heavyweight in UFC history, and probably up until John Jones won the heavyweight title, you could say the greatest heavyweight ever. He's in the argument. He really is. But now you have John Jones hurt, and you have an interim heavyweight champion in Tom Aspinall. I understand why John Jones wants the Stipe fight so bad. It is a legacy fight for John Jones. To go up in weight, beat Cyril Gane with ease, and then beat the most accomplished UFC heavyweight champion in the heavyweight division ever, all time, is an absolute legacy fight for him. But let's take a little look at Stipe Miocic's record. Now that we have an interim heavyweight champion, can we really put Stipe in and have him fight John Jones for the title? He hasn't fought anyone not named either Francis Ngannou or Daniel Cormier since 2017. And his last 2 wins before he fought Francis in DC were Junior Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem, both of whom no longer fight in the UFC. Actually, none of his last wins since no one that he has fought, I believe, is still. I think Andrei Arlovski is the only one that is still currently in the UFC. Yep, that's it. Just Andrei Arlovski. He hasn't fought since 2021 when he fought Francis Ngannou. So he hasn't fought in, let's see, when was that? March 27th. So he hasn't fought in over 3 years now. Let's take a look at Tom Aspinall's record, shall we? Super active, Sergey Pavlovich, Marcin Tybura. The only loss he has on his record in the UFC is to Curtis Blades, and that was from a knee injury. I understand why the UFC wants to make this fight, and I understand why both John and Stipe want to make this fight as well. Like I said, it's legacy fights for both of them. But Tom Aspinall is fighting in Manchester. He is defending the interim heavyweight title. If John Jones isn't ready by then that makes sense to defend the interim title. But if John Jones is ready and doesn't want to fight, that kind of doesn't make any sense of why they even have an interim heavyweight championship. Why the guy's even a champion, interim champion. Doesn't make any sense to me. Monetarily wise, I see why they want to make this fight between John and Stipe. But it's really not fair for Tom Aspinall. And it's not fair to really the whole division. Tom Aspinall fighting in Manchester, if he's fighting for the undisputed heavyweight title, that is going to be an absolutely insane fight, especially in Manchester, and if it was against John Jones. Here's what I think John wants to happen. I think John wants to fight Stipe and then retire. I think he wants to beat the shit out of Stipe and then retire as the greatest of all time. And if I'm John Jones, I'm right there with you. That makes a whole lot of sense. But then, are we just going to have Tom Aspinall defend the interim title, John Jones not fight him, and then John fights Stipe, win, and retire, and then Aspinall's the champion now? It just doesn't make any sense. You're having 2 belts being defended simultaneously. I don't know. I am very, very glad that this is not my job. And and I don't have to make these things, these kinds of tough decisions. But I never like when a interim championship is defended unless the guy is still seriously injured. But that's all I have to say about this topic. I'm excited to see who Tom Aspinall's next opponent is going to be. I don't know who it's going to be. He's fighting in Manchester. I think it's at UFC 303 in Manchester. It could be. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.